pleasant evening to everyone. On behalf of St. Joseph College of Engineering, Department of Biotechnology, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome one and all gathered here to attend this Biotalk series version 2.9. I extend my warm welcome to Honorable Resource Person Ms. Janani Moni, who joined us today to be a part of this program to speak on the topic career opportunities and trajectories in biotechnology and drug development. I bid a warm welcome to our beloved head of the department, Dr. G. Srikumar sir, and Dr. V. Renupama, and other faculty members. I also extend my hearty welcome to the students of UG and PG program. We are honored to have you all with us. Now I request our head of the department, Dr. G. Srikumar sir, to inaugurate the event.
Good evening, my dear students and staff members. I'm happy to see you all again for this virtual BioTalk lecture series version 2.9. As a part of inauguration, I wish to highlight some of the credits about our college and the department. St. Joseph College of Engineering is one of the top colleges in India with 160th position as far as the current NIR of ranking is concerned. It has got 27 years of high reputation in educational society with NBA and NAC A+ grade accreditation. It is having 12 UG programs and 7 PG programs with an affiliation from Anna University, Chennai. Recently, we have received autonomous status from UGC, which will be implemented for the forthcoming academic year. Our Department of Biotechnology was started in the year 2002 and having BTech and MTech biotechnology programs. Since inception, we have bagged 139 university ranks with 10 golds and 7 silver medals. And consistently, we maintain 100% pass percentage every year. The department has got sophisticated laboratory facilities and fetched the research center recognition from Anna University to do PhD program and having around 1.2 crores of rupees as government funding for conducting research. This pandemic should not be an hindrance for developing our knowledge and interest in academics. In order to keep you updated on track with various scientific research avenues, we at Biotech Department bring eminent personalities through webinar and share their views to the students, teachers, and research personnel under the banner of BioTalk Lecture Series version 2. We are happy to make a note that these programs are very successful with the positive feedback from the participants. Today's lecture topic is going to be on career opportunities and trajectories in biotechnology and drug development industrial sector, which is an important aspect of every graduate career. To make us more informed about career opportunities, today we have an eminent personality with us, Ms. Janani Moni, Managing Consultant, Deloitte Consulting LLP, USA. I understand that Deloitte is the world's largest consulting firm with the capability and deep insight about the industrial most complex business challenges to solve. I personally consider today's resource person, Ms. Janani, is one of the distinguished biotech graduate member who can share her own experiences and become a mentor and guide for the current students also in future. Ms. Janani, we appreciate your kindness in accepting our invitation to give an eye-opening talk on career opportunities in spite of your schedules and time zone variation complications, etc. On behalf of the patrons, Dr. Babu Manoharan, Chairman, Ms. Jessipriya, Managing Director, Mr. Sasi Shekhar, Director, and V.S. Rao, Principal, and Dr. Parvatavardhini, Dean, I welcome the speaker, Ms. Janani Moni, and all the participants to this BioTalk lecture series. I also convey my warm felicitations to Ms. B. Sangeeta, Assistant Professor, for organizing this webinar. Now I ask the student coordinator, Mr. Dikshit, to give a brief introduction about the invited speaker. Over to Mr. Dikshit.
Ms. Janani Moni is a managing consultant at Deloitte Consulting LLP. Received a master's in biotechnology from Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. An alumnus of Maples-Klein Engineering College, she received a Bachelor's of Technology in Biotechnology in the year 2012. She is a subject matter expertise within the life sciences and healthcare practice, with more than 6 years of demonstrated delivery excellence across the global pharmaceutical, biotech, med device, and CRO business. She has held positions in increasing leadership and operates at the intersection of R&D and technology. Broadly, she is experienced with supply chain, ERP integration, M&A, IT, enterprise portfolio, and project management solutions. She has architected and implemented several large-scale, global end-to-end and transformational solutions in regulated environments, from the ideation to tactical realization. These technology and process solutions enable informatics, analytics, and decision-making to bring drugs, devices, and therapies to market faster. Janani is recognized for a passion for the client's most complex problems by a focused delivery, by standing up high-performing teams, influencing decision makers, and creating collaborative team-based environments. Her functional expertise spans the entire R&D value chain across research, drug delivery, clinical development, and regulatory pharmacovigilance and medical affairs, and has solid functional knowledge and understanding of the FDA, EMA, and ICH regulatory complex landscape. A strong advocate of women in bio and technology, she is involved in variety of community enabling services, problem solving, and technology infused activities that provide high school students with opportunities early on the academic journey. It's an immense pleasure in welcoming you, ma'am, and I request you to take over the section from here.
Thank you, Dikshit. Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good evening on the other side of the world. It's a bright early morning here. I would initially like to thank the professors and HODs and, of course, Sangeeta for reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity to share my insights and my experience in this journey so far that I have had right after my undergrad, then back to grad school and in this professional career now. Also, I see that a lot of you, from my understanding, are in your prime years of your undergraduate as well as graduate career. I wish you all luck in that, and I would just like to share some of the insights that I have gained through my experience as well as through my interaction from noble expertise people within the industry, both in academics back in India as well as here. And let me share my screen. I do have a few slides that I have put together. Can some of you confirm if you can see my screen, please?
Yes, ma'am, it's been presented now.
Okay. So just as a brief agenda of what we are going to go through today and what I'm going to talk about is more about the career paths in biotechnology. What are some of the different directions that you could take once you have undergraduate as well as a graduate degree, the many choices and how the journey to those choices will be, and what a management consulting industry means on the whole, as well as what it means to be a management consultant within the life sciences and healthcare sector from my perspective. To end, I have included a few key takeaways that I have always looked upon as well as I have always followed, that some of my, I should say, some of my mentors shared with me that has been helpful so far. And we could definitely end with any questions that you might have that I can answer best to my abilities. So to start with, just a career in biotechnology, what it means before I give you a successful career and a recipe to a successful career in biotechnology. From my understanding, basically, it is just a unique combination of biotechnology is basically biology, business, and technology. I just don't see biotechnology being very isolated sector that falls under biological sciences. But in today's day and age, I'm sure data and technology plays a key role in any industry, and biotechnology is not an exception. Also, we do have a plethora of opportunities in the scientific as well as technology sector. The scientific sector ranging from your key discovery research within a lab, or you could be a clinical research associate at one of the leading, I should say contract research organizations, or you could sit in one of the top tech companies in the Silicon Valley and be working with some of the most cutting edge technologies that play a key role in healthcare as well as medicine. Also, your innovative and exciting research projects that you get to work within the industry that could range from trying to discover a potential cure to cancer, or be it trying to do robotic process automation that could help you in conducting surgeries within the medical field. Of course, you also get to work within work and invent useful technologies within agriculture. That could be something like Beyond Meat that you have today. That was also found by someone who was remotely associated with biotechnology. And healthcare being one of the top topics of conversation in this age. Digital solutions within healthcare as well as telemedicine is playing one of the key roles. That could be something that could pave a career for you. Industrial processes ranging from bioprocess or chemical engineering or anything that falls under industrial processes. Of course, a career in biotechnology is fulfilling, challenging, at the same time gives you the opportunity to explore the different interdisciplinary specializations. And last but not least, I would like to focus that you get to work on the welfare of the society. To add on that, me being a management consultant, I did not know that I was going to be part of one of the major COVID clinical trials last year. And I'm proud that I was part of it in implementing a clinical trial system and expediting the implementation process that aided in capturing clinical trial data at one of my top 500 Fortune 500 pharma clients, that helped for them to come up with one of the antibody concoction that was given to the President of the United States back then. So to move on, I have listed a few career choices, and I have segregated them into two different sectors, basically one being bioscience and the other being biobusiness. I see biotechnology in these two different panes. And how I came to know about it back when I completed my undergraduate degree, all that I knew within biotechnology was more about research grants, doing your PhD, going into top PhD programs. And that was the knowledge that was there back then. And I think new age biotechnology has evolved so much within the past decade that we have so many different career opportunities that could open doors to a lot of different areas within the industry. Biobusiness, I would like to focus on that a little bit, considering my area of expertise and my experience lies within biobusiness. But I've also included a little bit about bioscience, just not to, I should say, lessen the focus on that. From the best of my ability, since I am not much involved within bioscience. Anybody, anyone who is heavily involved in bioscience would be able to speak more to that rather than me. But the different sectors within bioscience is something that I know of, and I have included those. Those include R&D, discovery, research. That could mean anywhere from sitting in a lab, discovering and developing a new biotechnology drug or a cure. This could be by people who are basically scientists, lab technicians, process engineers, and new product development product managers who fall under basically the entire R&D discovery research chain. Those who help in invention, preparing your new drug to bring it into the market, manufacture them. Your lab technicians and process engineers play a key role. And getting that drug to the market is one of the key elements that is performed by preclinical research people. That could be anyone from clinical research associates, clinical trial managers, trial leads, all of those people who have a strong scientific background, who can assess the potency of a drug before it comes into the market, who play a key role in the different phases of the clinical trials that we know of today around the world. And of course, ensuring patient safety before any drug hits the market. From your bench to bedside is the key role of all of the regulatory and compliance agencies. That is one of the key areas that is growing today, considering how complex the regulatory area is. And I do know that FDA, NIH, and some of the other European agencies, as we know, EMEA, play a key role. And they do have a large presence around the world. And some of the job prospects around them are really great opportunities to explore, and definitely something worth digging more into. To focus more on bio business, I have put together in different buckets more as R&D, people who make ideas, who come up with ideas and bring those ideas to the table that are later on concepted and planned and put together. And services, this is where I fall under. My area of management consulting falls under services, where it is more of a melding of biological and computer sciences is how I see it. And you do have operations, where it's more people who are in business operations, in clinical operations, who touch anything and everything from a system up until something that is in a lab. Of course, you also have commercial operations who play a key role in integrating solutions and your cross product line offerings within bio business. And of course, technology, as we know, is there everywhere. And that's one of the key means that today, being in different parts of the world, we are able to converse and have this presentation. So these are the people who get paid to be the experts in everything that keeps the world running. So I think they play a key role, even though we are all talking about biotechnology. Without technology, and I'm sure there is no data, and without data, there is no insights. To move on, this is something that depicts the entire bio business journey map that you could take. This is something that you can use to find where your interest lies within biotechnology. And I see it as more segregated into R&D, services, operations, and commercial operations. As I mentioned earlier, we do have discovery research, preclinical research, and pharmaceutical or bioproduct development. Product development is basically a very upcoming and one of the most sought after, I should say, titles in this day and age. And of course, biotechnology also has product development, but this is more different than what we have in technology product development. You could be working, trying to come up with a product that could either be a drug or an equipment that we use in our daily life, in our labs, or in hospitals, or within the healthcare setting. Project management, you might question how project management is one of the key roles within biotechnology. Of course, project management has in its own area within any system implementation, within any drug that before it comes to the market. Project management is involved from the preclinical stage, when it's a pre-concept, basically, up until the post-rollout or after the drug has hit the market. Clinical development, as we all know, clinical development is basically your different stages within a clinical trials, and there are various career aspects within that. Regulatory affairs. So your regulatory affairs falls more under compliance, and this could be either safety or quality, or anything that involves FDA compliance, anything that involves your European EMEA compliance, or anything within Asia, or any compliance authority within India. The pharmaceutical market, as we all know, is a highly regulated environment, and jumping through the hoops of the regulated environment is one of the key aspects to get approval. And you need to go through medical reviews, which is something called as MLR, medical legal reviews. And I do have, I do work regularly with regulatory affairs in my different client sectors that I have worked with. Medical affairs could be anything from therapeutic areas. That could mean coming up with digital solutions for healthcare industry. I have briefly worked within medical affairs, come up with digital solutions for publications within the pharma industry to increase their scientific presence in their scientific world. Being in biotechnology, you all might know that we do have publications, a lot of papers and journals that come up every day, and medical affairs is something that oversees most of that, helping to bring those publications into the scientific world, bringing them into the vast area of internet presence, giving them a platform, and basically conducting congresses, planning those congresses around medical affairs is something that I have worked on. You might be wondering, how does law fit into this career journey within biotechnology? And one of the key aspects under that is intellectual property. Intellectual property plays a key role when applying for a patent for any new product, any new system, any new equipment you come up with. I'm sure you will be, the first thing you will be required to do is to file a patent. Without a patent, the product or the invention is not yours. So intellectual property falls under law, under this, and intellectual property is another area that is that has different career aspects within it, and you also get to take up courses on that if you happen to go to grad school, and you could further your career within intellectual property as well as law. Venture capital and banking. Venture capital and banking may not, you may feel that this may not fit in right here, but investment banking has a huge presence within life sciences and healthcare. They do have smaller boutique firms as well as large MBB firms, which could include anything from McKinsey or Boston Consulting, or any other top investment banking firms that could include Morgan Stanley, any boutique smaller firm within the Wall Street region. They do all kinds of, I should say, financial analysis, come up with forecasts and budgeting for life sciences industries. This area could not definitely, I should say, directly does not involve science, but having the ability to understand the nitty-gritty stuff within biotechnology helps people to better ace in their careers. Management consulting, that is where I fit in under services within this entire bio business map. So management consulting, as you all know, and I'm sure you are all aware that we basically are tied to different clients, different practices, different functional areas that we help them to bring a product to market or solve their strategic issues within their company, or help them acquire or expand within a certain market. That's the in a nutshell of what management consulting is. To give you more insights on what management consulting is, what I do within management consulting, and what a typical day in the life of a management consultant looks like. So basically, we are all tied to a company. As you know, that I am associated with Deloitte Consulting. We are one of the big four firms around the world who have a huge presence and are distributed geographically. I'm sure you might have heard of Big Four, one being Deloitte Consulting, two being Ernst & Young, EY, three KPMG, and four PwC. All big four firms do have a huge presence within life sciences industry. At least for the past decade, they have grown to have their presence. Initially, big four firms, as we all know, were more known for their capability within auditing and compliance and risk advisory. But with the change in dynamics in the economy, we have learned to grow as well as expand our practices. That is how most of these firms started expanding within life sciences, energy, conservation, human capital, HR transformation, and all of those. Within life sciences, our role is basically to provide manpower to organizations in their ever-changing environment that presents them with new challenges and opportunities within their industry. It could be anywhere from regulatory, safety, pharmacovigilance, or other compliance requirements, or it could be just a system implementation within the clinical trial area, or it could be medical affairs. It could be anywhere from a system implementation that could just involve supply chain, that could involve manufacturing, to become more increasingly complex as well as compliant throughout their product life cycle, so that they get their product into the market faster, as well as compliant, making sure that they are acing the race with the other co-competitors. That is why a management consulting firm is brought into by one of the pharma companies, any pharma company, and how we help. Our help within the industry ranges anywhere from defining and executing a corporate strategy that could help in transforming their business development. Strategy basically could involve anywhere from coming up with corporate strategy for executing sales, for increasing their presence within a particular geographical market, or how we are going to refine their product pipeline. If the particular product that they have in their pipeline, is it bringing in the ROI they expected to bring or not? Those are some of the key aspects that directly translates into numbers. That could mean increasing the sales by 5%. That could mean anywhere from bringing in an ROI that increased their yearly revenue by 10%, by 1 billion, or something like that. Expanding into new markets, that could potentially mean increasing their profits or increasing their growth. We do come up with strategies, and we do help them in expanding into different market areas. That could be market offerings or market portfolios, or it could just mean that expanding into Latin America, or could mean expanding into Asia, setting up a new manufacturing facility could mean, I should say, mean it could include starting a new trial, recruiting patients for the new trial, also includes executing value creating deals. As we all know, mergers and acquisitions is one of the key aspects of how today's industry grows. Any growing pains, as we can understand, comes with further expanding. And a management consulting firm puts their heads down and hands down to help in creating these deals, making sure they are successful, and they help in aiding the growth for the company for the longer term, thereby rebranding them, also bringing in value along with that rebranding effort. We also help in launching innovative products and services with our new and defined business model that could help in their revenue directly, as well as that could mean them position them as a key player within the industry. Anything that includes from, I should say, Microsoft's Next, or PillPack, or Amazon's telehealth or telemedicine. These are different products and services that a management consulting firm can help to launch and bring it into the market quicker and be available to the general public faster. And we help in optimizing operations, trying to find gap where the gap lies, trying to come up with analysis, conduct fit gap analysis, as in where we need to focus our area. If a particular product is not doing well in a particular market, we do help them redefine the strategy or move it to a different geographical area. That could help in increasing the revenue, optimize the operations, and directly help them to place them within the market. So this is just, I would say, a high level walkthrough of what a management consulting firm or a management consultant does and when they are brought in and why they are brought in. To give more insights on my expertise and experience, I know one of your co-colleagues and also your head of the department did mention about my past experience, but I would like to reiterate. I did my undergrad back in India at MEP Engineering College in biotechnology. After that, I pursued my master's in biobusiness and entrepreneurship. Basically, this is more like a combination of biology, technology, as well as financial services that helped me in equipping myself to get into the large area of business consulting, and try to understand the business aspects of biology, as well as helping in solving key problems within the industry, as well as be a key subject matter expert and position myself within my career as well as within my team that helped me to get where I am today. I have had the opportunity to definitely work in different industries. I should say 6+ years of experience is not quite there yet. We do have people who are more well versed and more experienced, but within my short span, I have had my hands within investment banking, where I had an opportunity to work within mergers and acquisitions for life sciences and healthcare industries, help them merge and acquire different firms, be it small or it could be a $1 billion valued firm. After that, I had an opportunity to work within medical device supply chain and manufacturing, where I was more involved in the compliance capability within validation for computer system validation, as well as process validation. Once I was done with that, that's the first time I had an exposure to the regulatory and compliance aspect of biotechnology. I had an opportunity to work for one of the Fortune 50 contract research organizations in the world. Um, I was part of their client services validation team. And now currently I am with Deloitte Consulting, part of their life sciences and healthcare industry, help implementing systems for different clients. It could be anywhere from pharma, med device, biotech, CRO, or healthcare, which could be creating digital solutions, digital platforms, for medical affairs, and increasing their presence in the scientific world as well as clinical development. So being a management consultant, I am basically involved in different stages within this pipeline, as you can see. It could be anywhere from pre-concept stage to post-go live, as I mentioned. The pre-concept stage is basically when an initial idea is formed. Could be coming up with an idea as in, I need a system today to track some of my study documents, or someone could come and say that I need a system to track some of the financials for my clinical trials. That's the pre-concept stage. That's how we are given an idea, and flushing out that idea and making that idea a reality is what I do in the shortest nutshell possible. So if I'm given a problem statement, I come up with a business case, as in, why do we need this? What is the prime reason, or what is the potential business case this system could, this particular idea could need, and come up with a concept. Concept as in, this concept could not be one size fits all. This could be anything basically that could involve system integrations, multiple system integrations, and could require approval from compliance authorities. And then comes the planning phase once we have passed the concept stage, basically how we are going to plan and execute this project. One of the major aspects of this is going with a vendor and making your selection of which vendor would fit your particular requirement. That could be the most beneficial instead of bringing in any vendor. Once you have your plan ready, that's basically, after that, it's your go time. You execute your plan. But your planning has to have each criteria. As you can see, these black triangles mean they are floodgates, basically an exit criteria to move from one stage of this pipeline to another. So some of the exit criteria is when you move from your planning stage to execution is basically come up with a project approach, have your scope nailed, be it an agile operation project or be it a waterfall model, I would say. Create an impact assessment of what are some of the impacts that this particular idea, or now which is called a project, could have on the other systems and other areas within the company, as well as within the particular function that we are in. List out your vendors and come up with an SOW, which is the statement of work, which includes what your business case is, what your project means, why you're doing this project. Project, as in I would say, could mean system implementation, or be it an idea for a clinical trial or a particular study being conducted in a different study country, or it could mean anything. Once we have executed, that's when we move to operations, and you get to use the system. You get to put in details in the system, and you can just go about your everyday life. once that's been done, the previous systems are being retired, you no more use it, and you basically retain your data from those, and your legacy system is no more in use, but you are going about your everyday system use with the new implementation that you carried on. This pipeline basically stresses where I work within management consulting. What are the different areas I could work? I am not always involved in the entire stage. Sometimes a client could have a need only in the execution phase when a management consultant is brought in. So I am only given a very brief amount of time to understand what are some of the pre-concept stages, what happened in the concept or planning stage, and I need to get a grasp of all those and act quicker and faster. Since all of you know that a management consultant is being billed hourly to the client, so we charge heavy to the clients, to be honest, since the amount of work we do, and the expectation from the client is the same. Since you are brought in, you are expensive. They need to be able to afford you, so they expect your quality of work to be equivalent to the amount of money that you are being paid. So this slide basically shows what a typical Monday, or what we call a travel day in the life of a management consultant, looks like. I know currently we are in this global pandemic where all of the travel has been come to a grinding halt, but before that, this is what my typical Monday, and I should say most of my Thursdays or Wednesdays when I travel back home, not just me, but any consultant who is a road warrior knows about this. A typical Monday looks like a 4 a.m. wake up, get ready, get to the airport, and travel. Basically, travel does not mean that you get to sleep, but we get to prepare for the day that's coming ahead. During our travel time, get to the client side, prepare for your daily stand-up that involves what happened the previous week, what are some of the misses that you had, what you plan on working this week, and presenting to the team by 10 a.m. and then have been always involved in something called a war room, where you have top leading consultants who work on the different product features within your particular client and within your particular implementation, where you are always on the go. You have the least amount of time to waste and decide, but just get your heads down and work. By 2 p.m., you get it resolved, and lunch is basically always a working lunch. That's how it has been, but there are days when it is there could be a little bit of breather. And one of the key aspects of being a management consultant is basically you get to converse with people ranging from the senior executive team up until to someone who is a technology support person. So you have that opportunity to converse with all different hierarchy levels within an organization, which means that you need to pace yourself and you need to position yourself to with whom you are conversing. Once that's done, maybe by around like 3:34, my day looks like I'm working on requirements for the next phase, which could be 6 months down the lane, but coming up with ideas. And then you hand off your most of your content to the other teams. You have a working dinner, which means you are still working. You are still on clock, I should say. And if you happen to work with teams that are co-located around the world, you basically touch base with them every other day, which means your nights are their mornings and their mornings are your nights. And I also happen to work with Asia team, which means after 11 is when it's their morning. So I typically have touch base and one-on-ones with them. This is a typical travel day. I know we all do assume that a life of a management consultant is all about traveling, exploring new cities, going to the best restaurants in the world, but it does not end there. As we all know, every job has its own ups and downs. Apart from the glamorous side of being a management consultant, you are always on the road. You are most of the time in a client-facing role, which means that you have to present yourself and you have to be put together all the time. That's a basic requirement, and you are supposed to be proactive, not reactive. That is a statement that I have always kind of remembered that one of my mentors did mention. To be a successful consultant, or to be someone who can be a manager consultant, managing up at any level within an organization, within a firm, or within a team, or within two people. It could also involve within two people. This is just a cross-functional matrix of what I have been involved in so far. So I have basically been there and seen that. Means I've been involved in different project teams, different functions, which could be anywhere from business transformation or human strategy projects, product and service design, UI and UX design. I should say that if not hands-on, but come up with strategies for that. Future mobility business, basically how you will be going, I should say, hybrid in this pandemic, how you will position yourself in this hybrid model within the market. Coming up with analytics platforms. I know analytics is playing one of the key roles, and data-driven decisions are being made every minute within an organization, an industry, that helps them to grow as well as to expand within the particular function or area. And I have also had the opportunity to work within marketing operations, could be anywhere from architecture and design, system implementation, as well as most of these are agile environments, ever-changing requirements. The requirement that I have today might not be the same that I have tomorrow, or may not be the same that I had yesterday, considering how much things are evolving, how technology is changing, how platforms are being integrated with different other platforms. And we just have to determine the best case solution that merges with all of these and have, I should say, a 30,000 feet view of all different practices and areas within biotech. Before I conclude, I just wanted to set you out with some of the three fundamental questions that could help you in evaluating yourself, help you in pacing yourself for the long career and the journey that you have ahead of it. One of them is, what is your long-term ambition? What is your future aspiration? What specialty is that you are interested in? What are some of the key strategic directions to be made in order to attain that long-term ambition? And the follow-up to that is how and where you will be starting, as in how are you going to work towards that long-term ambition or the goal, and what are some of the service offerings that you are interested within biotechnology, and what are some of the capabilities that are required in you now and over time. These capabilities could be anywhere from polishing your scientific skills, polishing your molecular biology skills, so that if you want to become a scientist, or if you want to be a process engineer, you are well versed with your genetic engineering or molecular biology or any of that. What is the investment that you are ready to make today, and what your timeline looks like? This is something that you can ponder upon time and again, and things might change as our interest changes, since we're all human beings and we tend to change. And last but not least, what this session is, I just wanted to include this slide since all of the opinions that I have presented here are my own, and they depend directly on my journey from my experiences. And this session is basically an opportunity to think about how your strategy supports your final goal. How are you prioritizing? What are some of the strategic directions you are taking to attain that goal? And definitely, this session is not an assessment of the industry trends, as I mentioned, because I have heavily focused on bio business. And this session is for sure not a reevaluation of your current interest or your current mission and purpose. So I think I have kind of given a brief overview, I think, that could be helpful, that might be helpful in your long journey. So yeah, if you have any questions, I think if we have time, I'm open to it. Otherwise, I hand it over.
Thank you, ma'am, for a wonderful lecture and enlightening us on the topic career opportunities and trajectories in biotechnology and drug development. Ma'am, there are a few questions. And the first
Sure.
question is, kindly give your comparative opinion on opting a career with core biotechnology or integrative or hybrid such as bio-IT, bioanalytics, and diagnostic biology. Which one shall be preferred?
I think this comes to more of an individual preference where your interest lies. If you are more interested in science, that could be something you might want to pursue. Or if you want to stay hybrid, there are definitely different opportunities and programs that could help in aiding and attaining your interests. As I mentioned, I am in the I did my master's in biobusiness that helped me in getting to where I am. As stated, bioanalytics is also something that's coming up. You have the opportunities to work in some of the top tech firms within, I should say, any part of the world. Or if you want to stay in business consulting, some of the firms that I mentioned, Big Fours, or the other boutique consulting firm that I know of that's coming up in India is called ZS Associates. They are a great analytics resource firm that are doing analytics within biotech companies as well as within the life sciences industry. Also have a big presence in pharma. I've seen that they recruit heavily from colleges in India. They have a worldwide presence and are well known, and I'm sure they are a big resume booster for you if you want to get into some of the MBB firms, or if you do plan on going to graduate school. I hope I answered that question.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, what is the qualification required to carry out clinical research course in abroad, UG or PG degree?
So for any graduate degree outside of India requires, I'm sure you all know that requires your testing services, which could be GMAT or GRE, and statement of purpose, why you want to do that particular course, why how is it going to help you in your career. That's one of the key aspects. And when I came for my graduate school, I only had an undergraduate degree, which is your bachelor's in technology. So you don't really need to have a graduate in India and go outside of the world to get another graduate degree. Basically, you will be losing out years on that, and I'm sure a graduate undergraduate degree is more than suffices to get a graduate degree anywhere in the world outside of India or in India as well.
Thank you. And the next question is, to get into bio-based business type of jobs, is MBA course compulsory?
Uh, No, not really. As long as you have a strong grasp of your business aspects, you can definitely tailor your master's program that would pace you into the bio business consulting world. That is how I did. My program gave me an opportunity to take courses in finance within the School of Business, within the School of Medicine, within the School of Law. So I was able to tailor my program and pick and choose courses that would help me. So that if that is a potential with the particular school or particular program that you are interested in, then please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. And there's another question.
Mhm.
Ma'am, with your experience and expertise in the field, can you please elaborate some specific and critical insights on conducting clinical trials with children under the age of 12, and how far the global scenario is towards the availability of COVID-19 vaccine to the children of the particular age group?
So there are clinical trials that are being conducted, but I don't have the depth of knowledge to answer exactly how it is going. But I do know that one of the clients that I previously worked with a couple of months ago is working on clinical trials and definitely getting a vaccine for people who are under the age of 12, considering given the global pandemic.
Thank you, ma'am. And there's a last question.
Mhm.
How to know that the bio business industry is the right career choice for me, and what are the basic skills a student requires to enter the bio business industry?
So for how to know, for how I knew, back in undergrad, I was interested in science, but once I was done with my undergrad, I had an opportunity to intern in different firms. And I'm sure you all know the National Center for Biotech in Bangalore. I did intern there for a few months, and I discovered that I was no more interested in being within science, bioscience, I should say. I wanted to be in the more client facing role. I wanted to be able to interact with people, understand more. At the same time, I also wanted to pace myself within technology, considering how things were evolving. So that is how I started exploring on what are some of the different opportunities for me if a business degree would be helpful, or if a master's in science with I should say ingredients from business degree would be helpful. That is how I discovered my interest within bioscience. I'm sure each one of us are different, and definitely question yourself, what are your key interests, where your interest lies in. Do you want to still stay in science but be in corporate scientific world? That is still an opportunity. You can work in bio business firms, consulting firms, but be from a scientific background, work with physicians, work with people who are doctorates in pharmacy, who actually design trials. So you also have those different set of opportunities, even if you are in science but interested to be in bio business. So whichever is your interest, I would say question yourself and decide how you want to pursue. And you do have a long journey ahead of you. So there are tons of opportunities for you to test out and see which works and which does not. And of course, in this long journey, there are mistakes and there are misses that happen, and you learn from that and you move on.
Thank you, ma'am. And there's another question.
Mhm.
While working on clinical data gap analysis of COVID, what were the hardships you and your team were facing compared to the same or well-studied or disease with sufficient supportive publication?
What was the second part of it? Can you come again?
Yes, ma'am. What were the hardships you and your team were facing compared to the same on the well-studied or disease with sufficient supportive publication?
So that was one of the major challenges, as you mentioned. Data was ever changing in COVID studies, by ever changing, I meant that in different age groups, in the different geographical areas, and within different clinical trials, and we tried to do different modelings of the data that we had, but could not come up with one of the most efficient, I should say, output. And to this day, it's ever changing. I am not supposed to give you the details on why, considering it's proprietary rights of the firm. But as you all know, that we are still learning and we are still being educated and also educating everyone of what COVID means and how we can get to the other side of the tunnel. But considering the difficulty of how the trials are and how less we know, but it's definitely different from what we knew last March to what we know now, and hence the reason we do have all these vaccinations in the market that were fast tracked, but there are still other kinks that we are definitely working out, considering the reinfection rates and also the different variants that are within the market right now.
Thank you, ma'am, for your time. And now I call upon Dr. Sangeeta to give the vote of thanks. Ma'am, you're on mute, ma'am.
Sorry. Good evening, all. So, on the behalf of Biotech Department, St. Joseph College of Engineering, I really take this as an opportunity to propose the vote of thanks to one and all who have helped me in organizing this event. At the outset, I would also like to thank our chief guest and resource person, Ms. Janani Moni, for gracing today's talk with her insightful presentation. We are really grateful for the time and the effort you have made to address today's gathering. Thank you, ma'am. I express my profound gratitude to our college management team, Chairman Dr. Babu Manoharan, the Chairman of St. Joseph Group of Institutions, Mrs. Desi Priya, Managing Director, and the Director for their constant motivation. I would also like to thank our Principal, Sir Dr. Vaddi Sheshagri Rao, and our Dean Madam, Mrs. Parvadavardhini, for their constant support. I am very grateful to our department HODs, Dr. G. Srikumar Sir and Dr. V. Renuka Ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to organize this event. A special thanks to my colleagues and the organizing team, Dishit and Alfred Francis, for their timely support and coordination. Our heartfelt thanks to the students for their active participation in this event. So with these warm words and a kind message, we will conclude today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I once again thank all the participants for attending the webinar. And I would like to inform everyone that there will be more Biotalk series in the upcoming weeks, and it will be communicative. Hope to see you all soon.